Planning is everything when it comes to efficiency. Even in project management, every process and step is analyzed and planned beforehand. But, as the businesses are growing, the competition is growing as well. And, the race to be the best, is overwhelming. So, where does that lead us, when it comes to project management? How can we ensure equally efficient and faster outcomes? This is where Agile methodology saves the day. Hello, this is Ryan from Invensys Learning. Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you are new here, do not forget to subscribe to Invensys Learning. Also, press the bell icon to get the latest updates on Invensys Learning. Now, let's discuss Agile project management. But, before we begin, let's take a look at the agenda for this session. We will start with, what exactly is Agile and project management? We will understand how Agile is used in project management. After this, we will understand the values and principles of Agile project management. Moving forward, we will see how much it differs from the waterfall model. And then, we will learn about the various advantages and disadvantages of Agile project management. And finally, we will sum up the session with Agile frameworks and career paths. I hope you are clear about the agenda for this session. Now, without any further ado, let's discuss Agile project management. Agile is a very misinterpreted term. Most people in organizations often benefit from misinterpretations by selling their products or services. Agile in fact is nothing but a set of principles and values that must be incorporated into the software development life cycle to yield maximum potential from the resources. Initially, the Agile methodology was proposed for software development, but recently, we can see the values and principles benefiting almost all other domains and businesses. And project management isn't far-fetched from the benefits as well. The main goal is to efficiently retrieve the end results by optimizing the cost and making the most of the available resources. It is done by consistent improvisation and collaboration of teams to identify the best practices to get the results. Now, before we discuss Agile project management, let's understand the traditional approach to project management as well. Project management is a discipline that determines the working of any team to complete a project, starting from getting the requirements from the client until the product is delivered. How each process and every team member, along with their knowledge areas and skills, are put to work, comes under project management. The end goal is to get the final results that fulfill the requirements of the client. The whole process starts from initiation, then comes planning and execution, after which monitoring and control, and finally completion of the project. These phases of the project management life cycle cover all the knowledge areas and skills required for the efficient delivery of the product. The task could be anything ranging from resource allocation to risk management, or cost optimization, etc. The end goal is always the proper functioning of the team, in order to fetch the most efficient results. Even though project management's primary goal is to get the end results without failure, there are certain drawbacks in the traditional project management approach. Let's talk about a few of them. The traditional project management approach is also known as the waterfall model. When the demand for faster product delivery emerged in the market, professionals started to recognize the setbacks that they were facing. This gave limitations of the waterfall approach a very important role in the rise of the Agile process. The waterfall approach is not as much effective on the larger-sized projects. So whenever there is a larger and more complex project assigned to the team, the waterfall model may pose a slightly riskier outcome. It could be in the form of delays, or simply an increase in the cost. After this, the waterfall approach's outcome has to be clear initially, or if it changes during the processes, it becomes extremely difficult and costly to implement the changes. And finally, the cost becomes high in case of unprecedented errors in the outcomes. With the waterfall model, the lack of improvisation could mean an increase in risk factors that would eventually lead to increased cost. Now, that we are clear with why we use Agile project management, let's understand how it works. Agile project management is an approach to divide the whole project into smaller processes. The idea is to make efficient progress during each iteration. Constant customer feedback and collaboration with the stakeholders ensure product delivery, with a significantly less probability of failure. Initially, the client delivers the requirements, which gives clarity on the outcome. Now, before starting with the processes, the vision is clear, and redevelopment is made according to the feedback changes, which makes the whole process flexible. Also, during all the processes, the most crucial aspect is the communication between the various stakeholders and team members. The continuous improvement is as good as the communication between the project team and stakeholders. Now, Let's try to understand the Agile project management approach with an example. Before we talk about the example, let's talk about what kind of projects fit the Agile methodology. We know that Agile is here to stay. Almost 70% of the businesses use Agile approaches, leaving a tiny room for errors. While deciding if your project should follow the traditional approach or the new age Agile methodology. Although more and more businesses are going for the Agile methodology, it also depends on factors such as deadlines and the complexity of the project. If a team is already familiar with a project throughout, there is no need to go for Agile methodology. Unless there is an urgency in project delivery and the complexity of the project is also unique to the team. In that case, the most suitable choice would be going for an Agile methodology. Now, let's consider the example of a cricket sports franchise. In a conventional setting, the franchisee will have a few top management members, including the coaches and board members. And that would be it. But now, the franchises have evolved very positively over the years. Now, the franchises will have top management with the board members. There will be separate teams working on smaller processes like bowling, fielding, batting, fitness, strength, conditioning, etc. These short processes are aligned towards a collective goal. That ultimate goal is to win the championship. You must be wondering, how is Agile involved in this? At every iteration or game, we have feedback in the form of performances. The teams then analyze the situations and formalize the best practices to improvise the next iteration results. The communication between the various teams involved plays a vital role in utilizing the best available resources. The phases are clearly defined in the roles of each team. There is a clear vision of winning the championship. There is a continuous improvement after each iteration to achieve the collective goal. The transparency and shared responsibility ensure the continuous collaboration of the various team members. This ensures the proper use of the resources, even in case of unprecedented shortcomings. All in all, the smaller teams are working collectively to achieve a common goal. This is a very basic example of how Agile methodologies can be applied to any business setting. The whole idea comes down to one and only one thing: is the process following the values and principles of Agile? So now, let's discuss the Agile values and principles. In 2001, 17 software leaders met at a resort and formulated what we know today as the Agile Manifesto. The manifesto contains values and principles for the Agile methodology. There are 4 values in the Agile Manifesto that is used in almost every Agile project. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Working software over comprehensive documentation. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Responding to change over following the plan. These 4 values are the core strength of an Agile project. In any Agile project management setting, it is extremely important to verify these values in each and every process. Now, let's take a look at the 12 principles of the Agile Manifesto. The highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. The next one says, welcome changing requirements, even late in the development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. Third one says, deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference for the shorter timescale. After this, business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. The next one says, build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. The sixth one says the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. The next one says working software is the primary measure of progress. After this, Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. The ninth one says continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. The 10th one says simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential. The 11th principle says the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. And finally, the last one says, at regular intervals, the team reflects on becoming more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. Now, let's try to understand how an Agile approach is different from the waterfall approach. The key differences between the conventional waterfall approach and Agile approach are as follows. The waterfall approach is a more sequential approach, whereas the Agile approach is incremental in nature. The Agile approach focuses on flexibility, whereas the waterfall approach focuses on structured development. In the waterfall approach, the testing is done only after the build is completed, but in Agile the test runs parallel with the development. There is almost no scope for changing the waterfall approach's requirements, whereas the Agile approach allows continuous improvement and changes in concurrent feedback requirements. Now that we know how both the approaches differ from each other, let's discuss various challenges of Agile methodologies in a project. In order to understand the challenges, let's first discuss how we can adapt to the Agile methodology in our project. So, how do you adapt to Agile for your project? There are 3 parameters one can analyze while adapting to an Agile approach. The first one is the complexity of the project. After this, deadlines and urgency of product delivery. And finally, the uniqueness of the requirements. Complex tasks are more aligned with the Agile methodology and are the best fit for Agile. Deadlines and urgency create an added responsibility to deliver the product on time. And, since the requirements are unique for the team, there has to be a collaborative effort between the teams in order to pull it off. For this purpose, you can define the roles and responsibilities of the team members. Specifically assigning a role to a member of the team will ensure the effectiveness of the Agile methodology. It will define the exact set of tasks to be completed, and establish a standpoint of that member in the team. Since communication is key for Agile development, the shared responsibility among the teams will encourage communication between team members. And, this will ensure that the collective work is aligned with the client's requirements. Now let's discuss the challenges in Agile project management. The most obvious drawbacks of Agile are as follows. The segmentation in the processes can give rise to poor collaboration and poor resource planning. There is a level of fragmentation in the outcome, which is one of the biggest drawbacks of Agile. Planning and allocation of resources can be a difficult task in Agile. Lack of planning can lead to burnout among the team members. Sometimes, members often oversell their deadlines, and the process delays further from the deadlines. Additional processes can also create confusion in the clarity regarding the exact set of job roles. Also, the assumption that the team will not resist the change can be a sign of unpreparedness. Now that we are done with the drawbacks and challenges of Agile, let's also discuss the advantages of Agile methodologies. Keeping aside the most obvious advantages, which is business growth, we can summarize the advantages of Agile as follows. Continuous improvement ensures a high-quality product at the end of the project life cycle. Collaboration and communication between the clients and various stakeholders ensure customer satisfaction. Due to the segmentation of the processes, the flexibility of the team is increased. The risk factor reduces as the continuous improvement ensures foolproof product delivery. Continuous improvement will help the team and its members to grow in terms of knowledge and skills. Now that we have discussed the challenges and advantages of Agile project management, let's also discuss a few Agile frameworks. Agile is an iterative approach to enforce certain values and principles. They also provide frameworks that can implement those principles very easily. The most common Agile frameworks are Scrum, Kanban, Extreme Programming, also known as XP. Then we have Feature-Driven Development. We can call it ASFDD, and then we have a Dynamic Systems Development Method, also known as DSDM. Scrum is an Agile project management framework that makes use of sprints. Sprints are nothing but fixed-length iterations of work. Also, there are 2 backlogs in the Scrum, a product backlog, and a sprint backlog. There is a Scrum Master involved, a product owner, and team members who are the functional part of the team and deliver the end products. If we go a little bit at detail, there are 4 ceremonies of the Scrum: planning, review, daily stand-up, and retrospective respectively. Planning is associated with the initial structure of the sprint. The review takes care of the part where the feedback is taken from the product owners and other stakeholders to act upon in the next iteration. And then the daily stand-up is basically a meeting to analyze the progress towards the goal of the sprint. And finally, the retrospective includes analyzing the process and mistakes made during the sprint to avoid them in the future. Kanban, on the other hand, is also one of the most popular Agile frameworks. Kanban is a rather exhaustive Agile framework for project management. It focuses on the team's capacity to get the work done as soon as possible. Unlike Scrum, Kanban does not have any backlogs. It works on the principle of a to-do column, where all the work to be completed is consolidated and for everyone to see. Since the goal is to finish the tasks as soon as possible, the team moves on to the next task as soon as one task is completed, in the to-do column. There is an additional VIP column, which has a limit to how much content can be added in that column, unlike to-do column. Then we have Extreme Programming. Extreme Programming is designed for Agile software development, focusing on continuous development and constant delivery. Feature-driven development is a rather advanced framework that can serve the sophisticated design teams. Mainly focused on software development, which focuses on making software models every 2 weeks. Dynamic Systems Development Method or DSDM is a standard industry framework for rapid software delivery. Now, let's finally discuss the Agile project management career path. To grow in the project management career, an aspiring individual can always opt for globally recognized certifications. But, sometimes there are a lot of constraints with certifications regarding the eligibility criteria. This is why Agile PM Foundation and Practitioner Certification and Prince2 Agile Foundation and Practitioner Certification can give your project management career a boost. Both the Foundation certification do not have any prerequisites or eligibility requirements. And, even the Practitioner certifications, have one criterion. That is, they must complete the Foundation certification first in order to apply for the Practitioner certification. Invensys Learning offers Agile PM Foundation and Practitioner certification in line with APMG guidelines. We offer interactive instructor-led Agile certification training and industry-driven case studies with 5 complimentary e-learning courses. The program includes highly qualified, certified, and accredited trainers with a 98.6% passing rate. Also, you can go for Invensys Learning's Prince2 Agile Foundation and Practitioner certification accredited by Axelos via People Cert. The program offers a live online instructor-led Prince2 Agile certification course with a 98.7% passing rate. The program also includes case studies and webinars along with LMS access for a lifetime. For more information, visit the link in the description box below. Agile methodologies in project management enhance flexibility and project delivery. The increased focus reduces the wastage of resources and helps in cost management as well. With this, we have come to the end of the session. For more details, visit invensyslearning.com. That's all for this session. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
For more updates on trending technologies, subscribe to Invensys Learning YouTube channel. Also, if you have any queries, share them with us in the comments section.